Shout out to anyone wondering what the opposite of in is. Oh my god. That took me a couple of seconds there. That one nearly had me. So Claire Hart, what have you been up to today? You been up to anything interesting? And what made you decide to diet all of a sudden, you and your husband? What if soya milk were just regular milk introducing itself in Spanish? Oh, let's not go down the identity route. There was a lot of things that I actually just changed about what I eat and how I eat and stuff, and I just changed them for good rather than like stopping what I used to eat. Like I just changed mostly the way it was cooked and prepared and stuff. That made the biggest difference to weight loss for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've still got a huge way to go, but that was one of the biggest things I did. Let's come down here. No, I'm finishing. Yeah, come on, let's carry on finishing. 5. What was that bloody game I was playing earlier on? That's going to really annoy me now till I remember what it was called. Let me just double click. City of Heroes. That's what I started playing today. I went to the gym with my husband, then just been at the house doing things, chores at work. Then I started painting, hanging some laundry and listening to you. We started dieting just because we wanted to get better with our health in 2024, hopefully to adopt one day. And we want to be in good health with the kiddos. Well, trust me, I don't care how fit and healthy you get, you're never going to be ready for that. But I'm glad that you decided to just take it upon yourself to do it. And do you know what? I wish you all the luck in the world with adopting. Sorry, my eyes went all funny then with adopting. Honestly, I think that adoption is probably one of the purest forms of selflessness that there is out there. You know, like it's to me, it's just brilliant. I've never adopted, but if I was ever in a position of where I couldn't have kids or whatever else, then that is definitely the route I would take. Because, you know, you have all of that kind of love bundled up inside, and, you know, to be able to give it to somebody, and especially with the horror stories you hear these days of like, you know, children being adopted or not being adopted and just staying in the system. And it's just such a really lovely thing to do. So well done you. And your husband. Thank you. We're hoping to foster and adopt. We can't wait to have a family. Oh, bless you. Well, I genuinely hope it all works out for you. You deserve it. That's the problem with these days, you know, there's too many people that... How can I put this so that I don't come off as a douche? Which is a bit difficult because that just happens 24/7. So in my experience and in my opinion, there are a lot of people in this world who can have as many children as they want, but don't deserve any of them. You know, they don't deserve, and I use this word completely in the correct contents, the miracle of having a child, right? And they don't deserve it. And yet there are people out there that would be just the best parents in the world, but unfortunately life turns around and says it's not meant to be. And it's just such a sad metric that we have to deal with. We're praying to get a little one, 4 or under. My husband is a 2-time cancer survivor. Doctors and they have said that he can't have kids. Oh, we're still praying for a miracle, but if not, we're excited to adopt. See, that's great. Oh, could you imagine it? Oh, can you imagine how cool this would be that you manage to adopt a child and then you find out, you know, that you've fallen pregnant? That would be brilliant. Because, wow. I honestly, I wish you all the luck, and I wish all the luck to your husband as well. It's like, you know, you've probably heard me on here day in, day out when I've been streaming and stuff, and I'm moaning and bleating on about what's going on with me and being tired and whatever else. And then I try and put a bit of a good spin on it at the end of it, because there are people out there worse off than me, you know, and this is what I'm talking about. The people that can't have kids, cancer survivors and all that kind of stuff. They're people that have every right to moan. They're people that have every right to grab the attention and whatever else, not people like me. And this is why I say that no matter how bad things get, there is always somebody out there worse off than you. Oh, you honestly, and I don't just say it for lip service. I don't just say it to, you know, make people think, oh, he's such a nice guy. I mean, I'm a wonderful guy, but, you know, that's beside the point, you know. But it's so true. You know, life has a funny way of throwing you some really shitty cards sometimes. And, you know, I've done my fair share of wallowing. You know, it's pointed out to me as recently as about 2 hours ago. And yeah, your own situation is the most important one to you because you're living it. But I never, ever think that I'm any worse off than anybody else. And you can't think that way. You've just got to get on with it, as was pointed out to me not quite 2 hours ago. Sometimes it just gets hard to not wallow. But that's when you get that big old size 12 up your backside, and then you just carry on. But please, if you don't mind, keep me up to date with how it's going. I'd love to know how it's getting on. If it's too personal, I completely understand. But I'd love to know how things are going for you. It's like I always say on here, like so many streamers, they turn around and they say, like, oh, you know, don't get too involved, don't get too personal, don't give too much of yourself away. And it's like, well, why? Maybe I'm going to find out one day. Maybe I'm going to find out why you shouldn't do it. Hopefully not, but, you know. I guess until such time, I should just keep on doing what I do. Much to the annoyance of some people. Oh, bless you. Do you know what? It's funny, you know. I always said that I'll bless you or, you know, whatever else. And I'm not a religious man. Isn't that weird? I suppose it's just because when I was brought up, that was kind of what you turned around and said. I don't use it in a religious sense, you know. Be right back, need to make work. No worries, buddy. But yeah, I'm really excited to actually do a drawing of my own. I got really inspired yesterday to do it. And from what I've seen, the method that I was shown doesn't look... And when I say this, I'm not taking anything away from it, but it doesn't look overly complicated to learn. So I'm genuinely looking forward to giving that a try. And as I said, maybe one day I could be painting one of my own drawings on here. I think that could be quite cool. My husband wants to really get into drawing too. He used to do really well in school, but hasn't done it lately. But he said it's a desire to do it. He's also colourblind, so the colour factor sometimes makes it harder for him. I get you. Yeah, that's got to be a pain not to be able to get the right colours and stuff. But the way I was kind of taught, that my missus said to me about this grid method for drawing, and then Dawn, this girl that I met on a stream when I raided her yesterday, she turned around and said that you should use the thirds method, which is to cut up your picture into like a big tic-tac-toe thing, and then you can then kind of get an idea of where things are supposed to go and the size of them and whatever else, and you just do it really lightly in pencil, so if you make a mistake or you want to move something somewhere, you can just rub it out and whatever. And I just figured, what have I got to lose? I've got nothing to lose and I'll get everything to gain. You know, and if it's one of those things that I actually can't do, well, I've still got painting by numbers, so I don't lose anything. If there's one thing that doing this paint by numbers and stuff has shown me, that, you know, you might as well give stuff a try, because I'd rather try it and think, nah, that's not for me, I don't like doing it, than never bother giving it a go and then realising later on in life, like I have done now, like, this is brilliant. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, with a bit of luck. Time will tell, I guess. Well, what is this number in here? That's a 19. And that's a 2 that goes all around the outside. And that goes all around. So we'll do the number 2 next then. I had a feeling that this part, like I said, was going to take the longest, because it's like loads of little intricate bits. And the thing is I'm trying not to make any mistakes. I mean, I try not to make any mistakes anyway, but I try not to make any mistakes in this, because I know that this is going to be a big focal point of the painting itself. Does that carry on down here? Yeah, it does. It also goes up there as well. Get rid of that 2 there. So what I'll do is I'll just follow up this line up here. Because if there's one thing I can actually turn around and say since I've been doing painting by numbers, is that my brush control is light years from where it used to be. Like I'm pretty quick now with getting the paint down and controlling the end of the brush to not make any mistakes. I was watching my videos back, a couple of my videos back the other day, yesterday in fact, and I very rarely make a mistake where I go over a line. So that in itself shows huge progress. And if I start painting, then I've already kind of got the skills of being able to flow the paint where I want it to. Granted, that also is in consideration to what paint I'm using. Because I've only really painted with acrylics. And I was watching yesterday watercolours being done, which, from what I'm led to believe, is a very, very difficult paint to paint with, because it's very unforgiving and hard to control. That's what this rose paint is, small detail. Yeah, exactly. But the watercolour that I see done yesterday, that was fantastic, because like she was explaining about like the infancy and the teenage years of any painting that you do, and it's like when it looks a mess and it looks all wrong, and then if you just carry on with it and just keep going and keep adding little bits and whatever else, then all of a sudden you watch it grow up. And it was a weird analogy for her to use, but she was absolutely right. Like I was watching this fish that she was doing, and at one point, even I'll turn around and say, that just looks awful. Like I could do that myself. And then all of a sudden, like she was adding little details and little bits and pieces. And it's like, wow, that's actually looking incredible now. So that was nice. Okay, that call was a waste of time. Why? What happened? But this is also why I'm trying to get into that figure painting, because I really enjoy doing that. It's just that that's something that's a little bit more difficult to do live on stream, because I have to let stuff dry before I can sort of move on to the next part, and that's not really something you can really do on stream. Right, yeah, this brush has definitely seen better days. Two around here. Trying to make a change to our firewall with the hosting company, but they won't answer the phone. Guessing all the weather yesterday, as they've been dealing with high call volumes due to damage and theft. Right, I got you. Yeah, the weather's been a bit off, really, isn't it? All over. Apparently, we had like hurricanes in this country. Not hurricanes. Is it a hurricane? Tornado, I think it was. I believe, anyway. I don't really watch a lot of the news, so I just get snippets of it from conversations that I hear from my family when they're talking to somebody else on the phone. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Which is more than likely most of the time. Although don't tell my wife that. According to my wife, I'm always right. It's looking pretty good, actually. Oh, there's another two back there. I kind of want to get the outside bits done, because this white is definitely going to go over the black part, and then it creates that horrible smudge, and then even when you try and like wipe it off, it always leaves the lighter colour on top of it, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. But if you do the lighter bits first and then come in with the darker colour, it cuts a line through it, which I think makes it look a lot better. Schools in our area were closed yesterday due to high winds and extremely heavy rain. Yeah, we've had quite a lot of rain here. I mean, nothing like that over there, but yeah, the weather just seems to be completely off. Why did I stop doing that when I had to go all the way down there? It's all wrong. Yeah, when it comes to bad weather, Americans definitely get the crappy end of the stick, don't they? Yes, you did. I've got it. I'm actually on there now. I've got a character on there and everything. I'm up to level 5, I think I am. It's not bad. Renown, something. It begins with an R. I'm pretty sure it begins with an R. Homecoming. I don't know. You know, you get the two things on the first picture. You got the top one and the bottom one. I went for the bottom one, because that way then you got to get up to level 20 before you have to make up your mind whether you're good or bad, right? Is that the one you're talking about? Right, let's see if we can go in here and get this S done, just to see how it's going to look. I'm curious. You're probably noticing I'm not talking much, because obviously the letters in this are like the most focal point of this, and I'm really trying hard not to make even the slightest mistake. Itchy, how you doing? Pitbull, when I load up, I'll have to let you know. Because you know me, I've got a brain like a sieve. It's not going too bad, buddy. How's yourself? How's streaming treating you? And how are you liking, what is it, New Day, isn't it? Have you managed to get $3 million yet to be able to afford to see somebody to buy a house? Because that's progression, right? There. Perfect. It's going well, laugh out loud. I'm streaming other bits of mine. Yeah, I know you were doing Tarkov, weren't you? That was kind of funny. I did enjoy it when that kid actually come into your stream and he was like, "Oh, I'm actually sniping you now," and then he literally deleted you a couple of times, and you were laughing and stuff, but I could just tell you were not happy. Ah, oh, that's not even a. Is that a different colour? I thought that was all going to be the same colour. Oh, balls. That's not. It's going to be in a different. I thought that would all have been in black. City of Heroes is a private service being run by almost a dozen different organisations. Homecoming, Thunderspire, Rebirth, Resurrection. Which one did you go with? I can't tell you at the moment without loading up, but I will let you know. Number 7. Bugger me. It doesn't even ring a bell, to be honest. So apparently I've got to go over this in brown now, which, you know, I said I wanted to concentrate because I didn't want to make a mistake. Well, it turns out even concentrating, I just make mistakes. Mate, you'll have to remind me because I've you know my brain. Most people must think I'm just being ignorant at this point. I look at something 5 minutes later, it's like, what was that? Got no idea. And then I'll say like, oh, I don't know what you mean. And then I'll get halfway through it when you're saying so. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's the joys of getting old, really, isn't it? I don't understand why the letters would be different. That's the only letter that's different. Just the T. Well. So, did you have a good New Year's and a good Christmas, Itchy? About that. What? What, you didn't have a good Christmas? Or did you have too much of a good Christmas? Was you full of the Christmas spirit? I'm going to have to go over that again because it's in bloody yellow. This does not want to cover. Come on. Here. That does seem weird to me that one letter is a different colour. Maybe there's a reason for it. I mean, at the end of the day, if it doesn't look right when I've finished, then I can always paint over it because it's only going to be gone over in black anyway, so it's no great shakes. I guess. 10 next. Bit of cream, and then we're back on with the black. Oh, hang on a minute, that's cream there as well. Is that a 10 or a 2? That's a 2. Let me finish off doing the 2. This part down here, because once again, just like the other day or yesterday, I'm constantly starting a colour and then never finishing it. Okay. Nice bit of relaxing music for a change. Like I said, I need to stop a lot of the music that comes up randomly, because some of it just doesn't fit. I was listening to the stuff from yesterday, and it was doing my editing. So if it's doing my editing, it can't be doing much for anybody else. Oh, waiting. That will do. A little dab will do you. I think this is looking really good so far. I was so surprised when I got all the way down here yesterday. That was kind of unheard of for me, to be honest. Right, do a deep breath and start. That just looks like I've done it wrong, but that's where the lines are. I need to stop being so critical. It's not like I'm a master artist. I'm sure at the end of it all will become right in the end. Itchy must have had a bad Christmas. He hasn't even messaged back letting us know what he did. I think Santa definitely put him on the naughty list then. In there. There we go. Oh, it does actually look really good. Oh, you spent it in an empty house with the kiddo. Oh, that's nice though. You got to spend time with your daughter.